The Meanest Doll in the World by Anne Martin and Laura Goodwin. Chapter 7 The Longest Night. Who are you? Asked the doll in the yellow slippers. Annabelle turned away from the window. The building in which she now found herself was a hut, made of small plastic blocks. Lego, she realized, probably built by the boy whose room this was. Yeah, who are you? Shouted a voice from outside. That's me, Mimi, whispered the doll in slippers. Annabelle and Tiffany peered through the window again and saw the princess doll standing only a few inches away, hands on hips. Tiffany poked her head out the window. I'm Tiffany Funcraft, and this is my best friend Annabelle Doll, she called. What are you doing here? Asked Mean Mimi. Don't answer, hissed the doll in the slippers. It's better not to talk to her. Tiffany pulled her head inside, and Annabelle watched Mean Mimi wait a moment for an answer, then called to the giant. Come on, Sandra, leave them alone for now. The princess and the giant left the room, and the princess slammed the door shut behind her. Annabelle was facing the oddest assortment of dolls that she had seen since her days more than 100 years ago, and the old doll maker's workshop in London. The doll in the yellow slippers was standing between two other dolls, one wearing pink pajamas and pink fuzzy slippers, and the other wearing blue pajamas and blue fuzzy slippers. Their hair and skin color were different, Annabelle noted, but otherwise their faces looked just alike. Next to the pajama dolls were two what? Annabelle had seen dolls like them somewhere before, she thought. And then she remembered the day Kate had come home from school with a doll lent to her by Rachel. It was chubby and squat with a wild frizz of brilliantly colored hair, which Kate had spent nearly an hour braiding and unbraiding and braiding again. What had Kate called the doll? A troll, Annabelle thought. And now here were two trolls standing next to the dolls in pajamas. Each was wearing a sort of poncho made of a scrap of fabric with a hole cut in the center, which had been slipped over her head. One troll's hair was bright blue, and the other's was a rainbow of colors. Annabelle was so fascinated by the troll dolls that at first she didn't see the 6 other dolls in the hut. When she did, she let out a gasp. These dolls were behind the trolls, and they looked as though they were floating. Then Annabelle realized that only 5 appeared to float. The 6th was holding on to a yellow Lego above the doorway. The others fluttered and flapped below her on a draft of air. The dolls were made of paper, pale green paper, and they hung in a wavering line, joined at their hands. The doll in the yellow slippers stepped forward. Where did you, do you live here? She asked. No, said Annabelle. We're here by mistake. We live at Kate Palmer's house, and we accidentally got in her backpack before she went to school yesterday. And then we got out of her backpack in school so we could see what school is like. And then we climbed in the wrong backpack. Not Kate's. Annabelle trailed off. And then when we got out of that backpack, Tiffany spoke up, we were here. She paused. Where are we anyway? This is BJ's room. Is BJ a boy? One of the trolls stepped forward. Yep, BJ Gordon. Tiffany looked at Annabelle. BJ Gordon? Is he in Kate's class? I'm not sure, replied Annabelle, frowning. Are you BJ's dolls? She asked. The blue-haired troll laughed. No, we belong to Callie. Callie? Who's Callie? Asked Tiffany. She's BJ's sister. Her room is next door. We come in here to hide sometimes. What are your names? Annabelle asked timidly. The doll in the yellow slippers put her arms around the other dolls in slippers and said, We're the PJ Party Pals. I'm Yvonne. That's Penny in the pink, and that's Beth in the blue, and these," she continued, "are the troll twins. Callie didn't give them names, so they didn't come with names, so they named themselves. I'm Waterfall," said the troll with the blue hair. "Isn't that the most beautiful name you've ever heard?" "And I'm Magnificent Mariah Rainbow," said the other troll, "but you can just call me Melody for short." The chain of paper dolls fluttered as Waterfall walked by them. "We're the cutouts," they said in unison. Annabelle looked at the outline of their green dresses and hair, at their plain, featureless faces, and waited to hear their names. But they said nothing more, just swayed gently on the air current. "You come in here to hide?" Tiffany repeated. "From Callie?" "No, from Mean Mimi," said Waterfall. "But who is Mean Mimi?" asked Annabelle. "And why does she want that giant doll to chase after you?" Melody sighed. "Let's sit down," she said. "It's kind of a long story." "A long story," echoed the cutouts. Annabelle and Tiffany sat on the floor in the center of the Lego hut with the PJ Party Pals and the Troll Twins. The cutouts swayed near the doorway. "Mean Mimi's her real name," began Melody. "Is Princess Mimi. She arrived 2 years ago. The rest of us were already here. Callie likes dolls, and she had a lot of them. Most of us are alive." "I'm usually the one to give the oath," said Waterfall proudly. "Oh, yes, she gives the oath," said the cutouts. "Anyway, when Mimi first arrived," continued Melody, "we all wanted to be her friend. We thought she was beautiful. She was nice and funny, and she seemed to want to be our friend. But soon," said Beth, "we saw how bossy she was. She was always telling us to do this and do that. Why? Because she thinks she's a real princess, not a doll in princess clothes. She thinks one day she's going to be the queen of all dolls," added Penny. "All dolls, as in all the dolls in the world." "The queen of all dolls," sang the cutouts. "So she ordered us around," said Melody. "She expected us to do whatever she said. She told us to get things for her and do favors for her so she could have everything she wanted. At first, we didn't mind. We were just so happy that this girl who was so smart and confident and exotic," said the cutouts. "Right, exotic," agreed Melody. "That this wonderful exotic girl wanted to be our friend. Each of us hoped to be her best friend. And then, one by one, we saw Mimi for what she was, a bully. Yeah, we began calling her Mean Mimi instead of Princess Mimi," said Waterfall. "We told her we weren't going to be her friends anymore," continued Melody. "We said she didn't know the true meaning of friendship." Annabelle opened her eyes wide. "What did she say?" "She said, 'You'll be sorry. You'll pay for this.' And then she started doing all these mean things to us." "Why didn't you just ignore her?" asked Tiffany. "We tried to," said Yvonne, "in the beginning." "In the beginning," chorused the cutouts. "But there are other dolls here," said Melody, "and Mimi has turned some of them against us, the ones she can control." "You mean like the giant?" asked Annabelle. "Yes," said Beth. "That's the Sandra doll. She's the most dangerous. I guess since she's the biggest. There are others as well. Techno Man and Sleeping Billy," whispered the cutouts. "Any others?" asked Tiffany. "Nope. It's Mean Mimi, the Sandra doll, Techno Man, and Sleeping Billy against the rest of us," said Waterfall. "Who are Techno Man and Sleeping Billy?" asked Annabelle, looking nervously out the window. And how come we haven't heard the Sandra doll say anything? Does she talk? Does she talk? Does she talk? No, she doesn't talk, sang the cutouts. Melody drew in a deep breath. All right, here's the deal. Like I said, me and Mimi's friends, she calls them friends, but they aren't true friends, are the dolls she can control. Take the Sandra doll. She may be big, but she's really a baby who's just learned to walk. We don't know exactly how Mean Mimi controls her, but we think the Sandra doll is afraid of her. And she's too young to know what to do about that. So she just does whatever Mimi tells her to do. Yeah, like go crashing around and stomping on us, said Beth. Then there's Techno Man, said Melody. He's actually on Mimi's side voluntarily. He should know better, said the cutouts. And he's Melody paused dramatically. He's an action figure, she whispered. What? Shrieked Annabelle. Action figures never take the oath, cried Tiffany. She turned to Annabelle in alarm. Annabelle recalled a night, years earlier, when she had pestered Nanny with questions about the oath and doll state and upholding the doll code of honor. She distinctly remembered Nanny saying, "Oh no, action figures don't take the oath. They're too destructive. They would never agree to work for the benefit of doll kind. Even if one did agree, he would be in PDS in the blink of an eye. Action figures are out of control." And now here was Melody saying, "We don't know what happened. One day, Technoman just got up and walked out of a bucket of action figures. It was really scary," said Yvonne. "Now we're afraid of the whole bucket," added Penny. Good Lord, thought Annabelle. I'm certainly glad I don't live at this house. The captain was beginning to seem friendly by comparison. What does Technoman do? Asked Tiffany. Oh, you'll probably see, replied Waterfall. Yes, you'll see, sang the cutouts. He's got all these gadgets, rockets, and lasers and stuff, said Melody. Do they work? Are they real? Asked Annabelle. Sort of, said Yvonne. Not really, said Beth. He's very scary, said Penny. What about Sleeping Billy? Asked Tiffany. Sleeping Billy, repeated Melody. Well, Sleeping Billy is a real baby, much more of a baby than the Sandra doll. He's an infant, said Waterfall. He's bigger than Mean Mimi, though, said Penny. He's even bigger than Technoman. He has this soft baby doll wearing bunting with a hood, and only his plastic face peeks out of the bunting. And all he wants to do is play with whatever you put in front of him, but he'll do what Mean Mimi tells him to do. The thing is, said Waterfall, that his eyes can open and close. And when they close, every time he lays down. And whenever his eyes close, he immediately goes to sleep. So he's not much good to Mimi, except that because he's stuffed, it's pretty hard for him to get hurt. Annabelle once again peered out the window of the Lego hut. BJ's room seemed quiet. Where do you suppose everybody is? She asked. I don't see Mean Mimi or anybody. They're probably next door in Callie's room, replied Beth. In Mean Mimi headquarters, chorused the cutouts. Yeah, that's where her throne and her robe are. All her princess stuff. She came with lots and lots of accessories, Waterfall explained. But right now, I'm pretty sure she's getting ready for an attack. An attack? Cried Annabelle. On us? What if the humans see? Oh, they won't see, said Melody. No, they never see, sang the cutouts. They go away every weekend. We're on our own here until Sunday night. Melody made a face. What kind of attack? Asked Annabelle. Mean Mimi plans all sorts of things, said Penny. Usually she sets up BG's racetrack with one end, the high end in Callie's room and the low end in here. And then she launches racing cars at us like missiles. She does other things too, of course. She attaches all of Technoman's gadgets to him and sends him after us. And she sets the standards all in us, whatever she can think of. That's how mad she is that we aren't her friends anymore, Melody concluded. The dolls were silent for a few moments. Then the cutouts dropped to the floor and glided by a window, each peering outside in turn. The PJ Party Pals, the Troll Twins, began testing the sides of the Lego hut, wondering how sturdy it was. Annabelle pulled Tiffany away from the others. We're stuck here until Sunday, she whispered. Tiffany nodded. So we'll have to help out in the fight against Mean Mimi. It's the only thing to do. Annabelle pressed her lips together and blinked her eyes. I know, she said at last.